What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so Stephen A. Smith promised that he would have more to say on his YouTube podcast, The Stephen A. Smith Show, and he did deliver. Now, as is his style, he claims that he wasn't going to get personal, but his out when he says he's not getting personal is to say he's keeping it strictly to basketball. But he brought up all of the negative talking points or all of the negative criticisms that people have levied against Kevin Durant over the past several years. And he called him basically a liar. He didn't use that term, but that's pretty much what he called him. Now, you may recall recently, after appearing to mend fences as far as the relationship, Stephen A. Smith has been critical of Kevin Durant as far as his leadership with the Phoenix Suns. Now, remember that Phoenix Suns team is predicted to be one of the better teams in the NBA, if not a championship caliber team, but they have not lived up to expectations. So he has put much of the burden on KD being the leader of the squad. KD came back on X/Twitter and said basically like one of my intangibles is my leadership tangibles, and it's up there on par with my basketball talent. Stephen A. Smith replied saying that he disagreed. And recently, in an interview with The Athletic, KD called Stephen A. Smith a clown. So all of us have been waiting for Stephen A. Smith's response. He finally responded on First Take this morning with some passive-aggressive talking points. Excuse me. But he said that he would really go in on him, or really go further in his critique on KD on his podcast, and that's exactly what he did. So first of all, let's go down the list of things that he said. First of all, he called him a liar, more or less, for saying that he's never seen Stephen A. Smith at in the press corps. Like, he didn't see him at games, he didn't see him in the facilities as far as in the film room. He just never seen him as being a member of the journalist squad or corps, saying that he basically just yells and rants on television. Stephen A. Smith said that's a lie. He said that KD has seen him countless times as a beat journalist in his earlier days over the past 18 years. But he emphasizes that those days have long passed. He's now on a different plane as far as success. So he called KD a liar in that aspect. He also brought up KD's playoff failures. In particular, the Thunder blowing a 3-1 lead against the Warriors in 2016. And he brought up how KD choked in Game 7, which he did. But he brought up the criticism, the golden egg of criticism, or the egg that he laid the most as far as the stench of weak moves, or the stench of futility, I guess I should say. And that is KD's much condemned move to join the Warriors in free agency. Now, look, me personally, I think a player has every right to do what he want to do. But, I mean, to me personally, I thought it was really weak to join a team that eliminated you just 5 or 6 weeks earlier. And he reiterated that he thought that was the weakest move in NBA history. And as much as I can't stand Stephen A. Smith, I have to agree. And The thing that gets me though about Stephen A. Smith is, he also brought up why did KD leave Golden State to go to Brooklyn, right? But this is the thing though. I distinctly remember Stephen A. Smith and other media members pretty much putting pressure on KD to leave. Remember? They basically were saying you need to leave and go to New York and or some franchise in the East and try to bring them respectability. Tired, I'm a little bit tired, y'all. Basically, it was to me, a lot of people in the media, as they were forming at that point in time, a lot of them were trying to get KD to leave to break up that Warriors team because everybody knew LeBron was going west, and they tried to make it easier for LeBron to get to the Western Conference Finals or the NBA Finals or whatever they have you, right? But Stephen A. Smith's a Knicks fan. Stephen A. Smith used his platform to get on a bandwagon and try to pressure KD to join the Knicks. Much like how today, or I should say a couple of days ago, he uploaded a video today. Now all of a sudden, Stephen A. Smith is trying to put a little bit of a bug in people's ear about Giannis going to the Knicks. See, he uses his platform for self-serving purposes. Anyway, he brought that up about KD ultimately not joining the Knicks and going to Brooklyn, saying that basically it was a stupid move. It was a stupid business move. He lost possibly millions and millions of dollars in endorsement. And he basically said he destroyed his brand. And saying that KD could have been a billionaire now, but he's not because he ducked the smoke when it came to join the Knicks. He also said that KD snaked Kenny Atkinson, who I believe was the coach of the Knicks at the time, of the Brooklyn Nets at the time that he came over, and said essentially that he wasn't going to come to Brooklyn unless Brooklyn also went after Kyrie Irving. Because we all remember how they were dialoguing with each other. I think it was the All-Star break. They were seen dialogue with each other, I think in a tunnel or something like that. But he said basically that KD tried to be a diva, and he got Kenny Atkinson fired for Steve Nash, a guy that had no coaching experience and was an absolute disaster as a head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. He also talked about KD not being totally serious as far as being a leader or a franchise player, even referring to him as a pothead, which I didn't understand why the hell he even brought that up. They called him a pothead. Look, man, I would have to venture that a huge portion of the NBA players, if not even a majority, probably smoke marijuana at least on a recreational basis. I don't know what this dude's problem is with marijuana. Like, I don't get it. Like it's like it just don't make any sense to me because people have this image that if you smoke marijuana, you're just this lazy, shiftless, no good pothead, just sitting on the couch, not doing anything. And some people smoke marijuana for medicinal purposes. Some people smoke marijuana because it gives them mental clarity. Some people smoke marijuana because it's a stress reliever. Okay? Now, anything that's done in excess is bad. But I don't get his constant harping about marijuana use. It just makes no goddamn sense to me. You got a lot of worse things out there. People drinking to excess and fucking up their liver and getting into car accidents. Alcohol, I would argue, is a far more dangerous and destructive drug than marijuana ever could be. But I digress. He also talked about KD's consistent failures in the playoffs with the Brooklyn Nets. how he's been swept the last 2 years in the playoffs. He said he would have got swept against the Clippers, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago, if if Kawhi Leonard hadn't got hurt. Basically, say he's a playoff failure. And he talked about KD's constant beefs with various individuals for whatever petty reasons, and also the fact that he is essentially a coward speaking from burner accounts. So he went down the litany of reasons why KD has been viewed as a snake and all that, right? And I say all of these things, and most of it, I agree with, right? But at the same time, this rant that he went on still proves that Stephen A. Smith is a fucking liar. And this is why I can't stand him. Or at least one of the reasons why I can't stand him. Stephen A. Smith always loves to play the victim. He loves to play the victim. He's like one of these smooth talking, what they would call jive turkey, I guess back in the 70s, which is apropos considering he looks like George Jefferson. But that's the thing, man. He throws rocks at people. And then when you turn around and you say something to him about, hey, why'd you throw that rock at me? He'll say, oh, I didn't throw the rock. That wasn't me. We have the wrong person. Heavens to Murgatroyd. I'm just doing my job. I'm just out here. I just threw the rock over there. I threw the rock over there in the pond, but I glared. I didn't throw the rock. If I did throw the rock, that was not my intention. So I don't know why you're attacking me. It was not intentional on my part. I have nothing but love and respect for you. Then we turn back around and throw another rock at you. I just don't like this dude, man. I really don't. I really don't like him, man. Because you go out there and with this little trick shit you do now where you say, oh, I have nothing but love and respect for the brother, but then you go and shit on him for a 10-minute period of time, like at least 10 minutes of just nonstop shitting on Kevin Durant. And then you'll end it with, oh, but I got nothing but love. And man, people aren't falling for this bullshit no more, man. You're the same dude that said, don't make an enemy of me. Don't make an enemy of me because you'll regret it. So, if anything, you have a history. You yourself have a history of seeking vengeance on people or trying to damage people's careers in the industry that you are a part of if they get on your bad side. I keep bringing up Monica McNutt because Monica McNutt was a rising star on BSPN. She says one thing about you that you didn't like, and instead of taking it as a professional criticism, she apparently has been marginalized because she's no longer on ESPN's flagship show. I think she's been on some people's show, but she's no longer featured on your program. Why is that? Because she hurt your little feelings? What is that? Anytime anybody criticizes you on any little thing, you get hurt. You get butt hurt. Butt hurt like a motherfucker. So you sitting here talking about how Kevin Durant feel like he can't be criticized. Nigga, you can't be criticized. The weakest move in BSPN history is you getting rid of Max because, your feelings get hurt. Because he consistently beats you in debates. Because he's, quote unquote, blacker than you, more in tune with the black community, smarter than you, more well liked by your fellow colleagues. It burns you to the point where, after Terrell Owens told you in your face what everybody was thinking anyway, You purposely canceled Max, and you checked out mentally. And what really burns you is that Max had the audacity, I guess, in your opinion, to sanction things on the show without your approval. So you snaked them. Then, because your ego is so fucking fragile, you was afraid of Shannon Sharp overshadowing you. So you tell me so, oh, well, we'll just have him as a guest contributor. Nah, because you're afraid he's going to overshadow your ass. You're a clown, man. And I think that should be the term that sticks. You are a clown. Hey, kids. That's what you are. Absolutely. You know? But you get in with everybody, man. Everybody. You're jealous of other individuals who were able to go to BSPN and get the bag without having to do all that buck dancing that you did. You know what I'm saying? You got all this smoke for all these other people. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't got no smoke for them other folks. No, you don't. What was that smoke for Michelle Beadle? That was foul what she did. You took that suspension. You took it. When you disrespected those Nigerian basketball players by saying some ridiculous xenophobic comment about their surnames or their names, you thought it was funny. And then when BSPN pretty much forced you to apologize, you still really didn't apologize. But you bent over backwards to apologize to Shohei Ohtani. But, it is what it is, man. Tell me what you guys think.